Now, Tom Piotrowski joining us live. Tom, another big story emerging today on the global bank sector. It relates to First Republic Bank, an investment bank in the United States, mid-level. You can help me out there. But the fact that these other big American banks are bailing it out to the tune of about 50 billion Australian dollars, that seems fairly significant to me.
Pete, it's significant in terms of a very simple idea, and banking, notwithstanding some of the complexity that can be attached to it, ultimately boils down to a very simple notion, and that's confidence. So the fact that you've had Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs all band together to try and basically buttress First Republic has been quite meaningful in terms of the optics. It's been one of the elements overnight that has seen bank stocks in many jurisdictions flourish compared to what we have seen over the course of a very challenging week. So First Republic, for example, is up by about 5%. Sounds good, but it has lost about 85% of its value over the course of the week. But this is precisely the sort of thing that regulators want to see, is that when organisations are doing everything that they can to try and buttress confidence. So that was one aspect of things. Janet Yellen testified in front of the Senate Finance Committee last night, and essentially her words were also quite soothing, in as much as the description that she offered for the US banking system, that it's strong and that it will weather this storm. That was quite important as well. Across in Europe, though, that was really the eye of the storm, as it were. So a lot came down to last night. We had the European Central Bank announce a rate rise of 0.5%. Now, this is probably one of the best rate increases that you'll hear of, because had the European Central Bank balked, this would have sent a signal to the markets that the European regulator was uncertain about some of the things going on in the European banking space. That could have potentially roiled markets. We've actually seen banks across Europe rise. HSBC up by about 2%. Banco Santander in Spain up by about 2.6%. UniCredit in Italy up by about 2.7%. Quite important outcomes, along with the Swiss National Bank offering a $54 billion line of credit to Credit Suisse.
That's interesting, Tom, because that shows it's not really worried about what happened with Credit Suisse and what happened with those banks in the United States.
No, it's not that they're not worried. They're vigilant, and that sort of brings with a different kind of worry. But the fact is that this is a situation that can be resolved. And to that point, Credit Suisse shares, which had fallen by 30% in the previous session, were up by as much as 40% in the opening part of trade last night. They're up by about 20% at the moment. There's still some work to be done in terms of shoring up confidence there. When you have your biggest shareholder, the Saudi Arabian National Bank, basically being reluctant to invest more money, then that sends another signal to the markets as well. So we're not out of the woods yet, but it's certainly one of the better days that we've had over the course of the last week. We'll kick off with a gain of about 0.25%, having said all of that today, Pete.
At the end of the day. Tell you what, like a spinning top here, there's moving parts everywhere. Yeah, did you want to finish your point there, Tom?
Yeah, look, the point that I'm making, without being glib, is that our banks have pretty much paced the decline for the local market over the course of last week. We've fallen by as much as 6% in terms of the ASX 200, which is pretty much the extent to which bank stocks have fallen over the course of the week. So they are essentially dictating terms as far as the local market's concerned, which is you'll get no prizes for guessing that.
Yeah. All right, Tommy, we'll talk to you later.